What's up? We here. So we about to have 3 videos in a row. So again, buckle up. Buckle up. Come on in, come on in, come on in. What's up? Linda said really big. This episode was so good. It really was good. Let me see here. Never seen this show or the others, but y'all keep saying it's good. You need to start. It's really good. It's really good. It's really good. What's up, Kevin? Hey, Boo. Hey, everybody else coming in. So come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's get this party started. So, with that being said, this episode was a lie. I watched it last night. I had to go back and rewatch some stuff again. So let's get into it. So we pick up with Rock and Marvin trying to figure out what they need to do. Because of course, they went to Memphis and hired the white guys from Memphis to take out. I always want to call that man Sal, and it's not Sal, but y'all know, take out Tony Danza, child. And they missed. And so now they know he's coming for them because he sent them a message letting them know you swung and you missed. So they're a little bit worried about it. They're a little bit nervous. Now, what I find to be very interesting this episode, because we saw it on both sides. We saw Marvin trying to talk to Rock, and we saw Breeze trying to talk to Kanan. And both of them are basically saying the same thing. Stop fooling with each other. Because right now, all we need to be worried about is making this money. Breeze had a conversation with Kanan down to the cafe where, Breeze found out about what Kanan was doing with the call girls and with taking out the judge and everything. And, Kanan was like, yeah, she swung at us. So I had to hit back. And Breeze was like, look, I'm going to hit her back. Oh, I got something for Rock, but it's got to make sense. And we got to get something out of it. He was like, we're not getting nothing out of this. That's just personal. And you need to start separating the personal from the professional, because right now it's about making this money. And Kanan was like, look, when it comes to Rock, it's going to always be personal. Like, that's what it is. It's just going to always be personal. And Breeze was trying to explain to him. And he said, look, I don't need nobody to explain to me how to handle my mother. I said, oh, Breeze, you might want to moonwalk your way out of this one. Then we see Kanan going and talking to Tony Danza. And yeah, Raising Kanan is my favorite too, Kevin. And again, Tony Danza is saying the same thing. Look, your mother took a swing at me. And Kanan is like, look, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, I have nothing to do with that. That's between you and my mom. Like, and he was like, yeah, but I just need you to understand, like, I can't let this ride. And Kanan was like, all right. Like, okay. I mean, if you need to take out are you trying to tell me you need to take out my mom? Because if you're telling me you need to take out my mom, do what you gotta do. Like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. That has absolutely nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? And so then we see Jukebox and then the cop, and he's telling her, look, I need my money. Now, I'm gonna be honest and tell y'all, this situation with, and I've said it before, this situation with Jukebox and the cop is so stupid to me. We're gonna come back around to it. Unless they find a way to really connect these dots, it's just stupid to me. We're gonna come back around to it but he's basically letting her know, look, like, I need my money. If not, it's not gonna end well for you. It's not gonna end well for you. I need my money. It's not gonna end well for you. Now, yeah, Kevin, I agree. The one thing I like about Raising Kanan is that it's really standalone. You really don't need to have a whole lot of, you don't need to go back to the original Power to understand what's going on in Raising Kanan. Like, it helps because certain things are going to happen. But actually, I'm going to be honest, I really feel like you could probably watch Raising Kanan and never watch the original Power and it still be just as good of a show. I can't really say that about the other ones, in my opinion. But yeah, you go back to season 1, episode 1. I think you'd be good. We'll come back around to Jukebox and this dirty cop situation because again, it lost me. We sort of lost the plot. Um, Rock goes to talk to her Manhattan mob connect, and thank you, Stefano. I don't know why I want to call that man Sal, and I know his name ain't Sal. But I know it starts with an S, and I don't know why Sal always. Maybe I be thinking about Do the Right Thing with Sal, Sal's Pizza Shop. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Now, Rock goes to her Manhattan Connect and lets him know what's going on. And Rock, of course, denies having anything to do with the she denies having anything to do with the hit on Stefano. He knows she lying. Rock he knows she lying. And basically she said, look, let him know, like, I'm doing business out here with you. Like, what? I don't have nothing to do with that. Like, you need to let him know. Like, basically she was like, tell him, leave me alone. Like, I'm doing business with you. I'm making money out here with you. And like Rock said to Marvin, she was like, we making him too much money. Like, he's going to have our back as far as he can have our back because we're making him too much money, you know? And he does. He goes to, he ends up going to Stefano and he ends up basically vouching for Rock, saying, look, she's in Manhattan now. Like, you really need to let this go. This has nothing, right. This has Pino, thank you. He has nothing to do with, she has nothing to do with what you got going on out here in Queen. Like, you wanted her out, she left. Just you mad because she found another way to make money. And yeah, she did send the Memphis boys after you. But before she sent the Memphis boys after you, she really came to you and was like, look, you don't want to do no work with me? Cool. You want me out of Queens? Cool. You can't be mad that she found another way to make money. But at the end of the day, I think it really comes down to Rock being a woman, in my opinion. I know we can get into the minutia of whether he had, a unique and all that other stuff, but I really think because the fact that he even went to Marvin and tried to turn Marvin against Rock, like, I feel like he has a problem with answering to women and giving women that type of respect. Like, I think it, in my opinion, I think that had a lot to do with it. I love the landlord tenant. Me too, Kevin. Because when Pino told, he said, listen, I'm her landlord. She pays her rent every month. First of the month, she ain't late, she ain't short. He said, any problem she got with a former landlord don't have nothing to do with me. And your issues with her don't need to come back and blow back on me. That's y'all's situation, So I really felt like I appreciated what Pino did, and he wasn't wrong. Like, and I've been saying that from the beginning. Like, Stefano, why are you that mad? Like, what? Why are you that mad? Now, this next scene, it may be some bigger drug lore to it, but Taz, we know Taz is gone. He left us the last episode, and Kanan is now taking over Taz's responsibilities, which means he's picking up the product. Looks like he's picking up pills or whatever, and he's making deliveries and he's making pickups. Kanan shows up, and one of the guys was like, "Who are you?" And Kanan was like, "You ain't got to worry about that. Bree sent me." And he was like, "I don't fucking know you." Like, and Kanan was like, "Man, I ain't got time for this. Just give me my product." And he was like, "Well, where's Taz? Because I know who Taz is. I don't know you." And he was like, it was at that moment when Pino advocated for Rockfish was butthurt. He was in his feelings. Stefano is like a second baby daddy, shaking my head. I liked him at first. Yeah. So in this scenario, because the guy wouldn't give Kanan the product. He was like, "I don't know you. I know Taz. I ain't heard from Breeze. You telling me that Breeze sent you don't mean shit to me." And so of course, Kanan goes back to Breeze. And they end up approaching old boy. And Breeze was like, once he said, notifications probably aren't going out because, you got to give YouTube a certain amount of time. But I'm glad you're here, boo. So when Breeze comes back around with Kanan And Breeze confronts the dude, and Breeze is like, well, once he said he was here on my behalf, that should have been the end of the conversation. And then they proceed to beat that dude in like he was wrong. Hello? Hey, he wasn't wrong. And like he said, Breeze, I was protecting you. Anybody can roll up on me and say Breeze sent me. And then if I give him the product and he lying, or he robbed you, or he robbed Taz, now I'm the one that's stuck and I'm the one that's in for it. That part to me was crazy. Breeze, you were supposed to send a note, a kite, a text, whatever they were sending back in 1992, 93, 94. You were supposed to send the sky tail, whatever they was using. You were supposed to send a message and say, hey, I got it. Taz is out. My new guy, Kanan, is coming through. Use whatever code words you need to use, whatever private messages. But he wasn't wrong. And I didn't understand why he got punished, because he wasn't wrong. He wasn't supposed to give Kanan nothing without talking to you. Some dude rolling up talking about Breeze sent me. So I didn't understand that. I didn't like that because, I mean, maybe the whole purpose of that was to show just how crazy Breeze is. I don't know. But it was absolutely no reason. I didn't like it. And when I say I didn't like it, I don't mean like I didn't like it. I don't care about them beating that dude up. But to me, I feel like that was a violation of street code. And everybody know how that was supposed to go. And so for Breeze to punish him and act like he was wrong, I just didn't like it. But whatever. Am I using jail lingo? But anyway, this next scene we had with Jukebox telling Marvin she ready to get in the game. Like, she was like, I'm not making enough money on the door. I need a bigger role. And if you ain't going to give it to me, I'm going to get it from somebody else. Listen, I can't say every, but most people who go into a life of crime fully understanding or not wanting their children to follow in their footsteps. Like most people, especially drug dealers, in my opinion, not everybody, y'all, not everybody. But most people are like, I'm doing this so my kids don't have to. Like we saw it in Power. I'm going to send my kids to the best schools. I'm going to give them the best opportunities. I'm going to put them in the rooms with the best people because I don't want my kids to have to do what I did in order to make a living, right? And so I feel like Marvin is hurt right now. I mean, we know Marvin is already hurt because with Lou and this, that, and the other. But I think the biggest thing right now that Marvin is really, really, really pissed off about or hurt by is the fact that the one thing he probably did not want to happen is the one thing that's happening. We saw it with Rock early on with Kanan. She did not want this life for Kanan. She just didn't, you know? And I think even though we know Marvin is not the most, you know, what's up, DeMarcus? Hey, boo. Even though Marvin is not the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Fluffy dad, you know, he don't have those like paternal instincts like that. I think that in his own way, he's really tried to put Juke in a different situation. I feel like one thing that's been consistent about Jukebox from the very beginning, and we can go back to season 1. Jukebox has been floating since season 1. Even in the beginning when we saw, if we go back to season 1, yeah, she was in school and it seemed like she was a pretty decent student or whatever, but Jukebox never really had a direction. When we met her, she was a booster. Right? When we met Jukebox, she was boosting polo gear, you know, and of course confused about her sexuality. In season 1, we saw her coming to terms with her sexuality and falling in love. But we never really saw Jukebox have a direction. The closest that we came was when she was in Butter, when she was singing. But we never saw, she went to the army, that didn't work out. We've never seen, she went to college, that didn't work out. We've never seen, and so I feel like that's the one thing that has been consistent with Jukebox. And so now she's telling Marvin, look, if you don't do it, I'm gonna get it from somebody else. And that's just that. So, I mean, of course, Marvin did what he felt like he had to do, which was, all right, I'm gonna give you some work, But at the end of the day, trust and believe, we're not gonna treat you no different. We're gonna take our cut just like we take our cut from everybody else, and we're not gonna treat you no different. You know what I'm saying? And then later on in the episode, we saw her connect with her old boosters and building up her, she's building up her squad, she's building up her team, Yeah. We saw Rock meeting up with Joaquin. She's getting back into business with Joaquin. I feel like the only reason why they showed us this scene is to connect to what we see at the end later on in this episode, which I'll get to that in a minute, because we already saw her reconnecting with Joaquin. I mean, he warned her and told her, you got to make sure that, I put you in touch with my connect, and you got to make sure you're consistent, and, we're not playing no games out here. But honestly, I ain't really feel like we needed this scene. I just don't feel like we learned anything new in this scene other than to remind us that that's Rock's connect, which is going to bring us back to what ends up happening later on. But put it in the chat, DeMarcus, Kevin, y'all put it in the chat if y'all feel like it was something else in this scene that we were supposed to get that we didn't get, y'all. I don't know. Jukebox will have Jackie moving product through Club Plum 2. Okay. Jukebox has had the most opportunities to avoid it. She has. I agree with that. We see Marvin meeting up with the little white girl. Listen. Once again, I feel like the only reason why they keep bringing her up is because I really think she's going to be Marvin's downfall. I know everybody keeps thinking that it's going to be Rock, or it's going to be this, or it's going to be that. I really think that this little white girl is going to be his downfall. She lets Marvin know that she's with a new family and everything is cool with the new family, but basically they're threatening her that she needs to tell the truth about who really, took out her other foster family, or they're going to take her away and not, take her away from where she is. And so what Marvin's going to do with that information, who knows, child, is Marvin. Who knows what they're going to do with that, what he's going to do with that information. But what we do know is I have to believe that they're not keeping this story going for no reason. And I know that there's some other theories out there about Marvin is going to go out saving Rock or whatever. And he might. I mean, he's definitely family, and Rock is all the family he got left. But I don't know. It's something with her. I don't know what. It's going to be something with that little girl. Why does she just randomly pop up every couple of episodes? Like, why? So I have to believe that there's something there. I just have to believe that. Help me to understand how a black man was to walk broadly daylight giving ice cream. Where were the foster parents? I don't know. It was a TV show. What was Marvin doing hanging out with that white girl at an ice cream shop? Listen, let me say this. Marvin, I get it, but you need to stay far away. Like, I know you think that the little white girl, everything is cool, but I think in that conversation, he realized, oh, they didn't really buy her story kind of thing. But I agree with everything y'all are saying. Like, that just didn't make no sense. Joaquin's death foreshadowed Breeze's death with Ghost. Just Lobos foreshadowed Ghost with Tariq. Wait a minute. Joaquin's death foreshadowed Breeze's death with Ghost. But that's not how that's not how they killed Breeze, though. They did. Now, I will say this. I'm gonna get to that in a minute when we get to that. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, though, DeMarcus. The little white girl will be the demise for Marvin. Yeah, that's what I think. I really think that's what it's gonna be. Remember, Kanan mentioned in the original Power he has an uncle in prison. I told y'all that I think Marvin goes to jail. I do not think Marvin dies. I told y'all. Y'all go back. I said that in the first review of the first episode of this season. I said that I don't think, and I said it after Unique left. I said, Marvin, I do not think Marvin dies. I think Marvin goes to jail. And I think we get glimpses of Marvin. I think we get glimpses of Marvin in Origins. Because I think Marvin's in jail. And I think we're going to see people visiting Marvin. Whether it's Jukebox, whether it's Kanan. I know the way this episode ended, we might not think it's Kanan. But it could be Kanan. It could be Jukebox. But I think we get Marvin in Origins. And again, that takes me back to, I've been saying this all season 2. That takes me back to Legacy. That's going to be with Tariq and Tommy. I would love to see cameos. If Marvin doesn't die and Marvin goes to jail, I would love to see an 80-year-old Marvin out of jail talking to Tommy. I don't know. I would love to see it. But anyway. Ooh, it would be interesting if Kanan eliminates Amber to get back at Marvin, and this makes people really hate Kanan. Well, first of all, I don't know if we can hate Kanan more than we do, but sure. Second of all, how would Kanan know about Amber? Like, nobody, even Rock don't know about it. Like, nobody knows about this. So I don't know. I hear you, though. It's a TV show, so it's not far. It can happen. I think that little girl saves Marvin's life by him going to jail before Kanan gets him. Now, Felicia, that's a question. Felicia, there you go. I'm with you on that one. I could see that. Wait a minute. Sorry. Okay. We see Marvin going to talk to Flossie because Rock told him, look, you and Flossie got a good relationship. Go make sure she good. Like, as far as she knows, this don't have nothing to do. Oh, and that's the other thing Rock told Marvin at the beginning of this episode. Rock did let Marvin know that was a hit, that was Kanan. Because remember, she didn't tell Marvin. Marvin thought it was just some bad work and that they really had a situation. So she tells Marvin what the real deal is. And then she tells Marvin, I need you to go smooth everything over with Flossie. Let her know that was a one-time thing and everything is everything. It's been handled and we good. So we see Marvin talking to Flossie. Once again, they end up talking about her daughter. Now, I thought that maybe her daughter had a connection to somebody in the life or something. We find out later on what Flossie's connection is. We'll get to that in a second. But she lets us know that her daughter was killed in a drunk driving accident at the hands of her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was driving drunk. She died. And she also lets us know that she got her revenge. She also lets us know that she got her revenge on the boyfriend. And I think that was done to let Marvin know I'm not no punk. I just handle things differently. Because I think she said this is like a couple of years later. And what I also love is when she talked about how the boyfriend, because he had, his father knew people that had high-powered connections, that he ended up not going to jail. He only got probation. And Marvin was like, yeah, white man's justice. And the look on Flossie's face was kind of like, damn. Like, okay. So they kind of had that in common. But Flossie absolutely got her revenge a couple of years later. So I feel like she was sending a message like, look, I handle my business. I just do it a little more subtle. Right? Marvin and his crew hitting the boy runner on the bike was the funniest thing. We almost there, Kevin. We almost there. But yeah, that was good. Hold on. I think Kanan. Hold on. Let me scroll up. I think Kanan's going to save Rock's life. After all, it's called Raising Kanan. Thank you for the super chat, boo. The market said, who would you say is better writer, Sasha Penn or Courtney Kemp? I don't know about a better writer because I believe I wouldn't say a better writer. I definitely think Sasha Penn did a great job with Raising Kanan. The writing on Raising Kanan is way better than Force and way better than book 2, in my opinion. Out of the 3 spinoffs so far, Raising Kanan head and shoulders above the rest, in my opinion. But I feel like Courtney Kemp, I'm not going to take nothing away from Courtney Kemp because those first couple of years of Power, I mean, we can't, that can't be denied. That can't be denied. Now, towards the end of Power, did things get a little wonky? But I think that's most television shows. The longer they run, things start getting a little wonky. But I ain't gonna take nothing away from Courtney Kemp because I mean, it all started with her. That's where this all started, you know. So I can't say who I think is better. I definitely think that both of them have done a great job. So, Kanan will forgive Rock, but if she sets up Marvin in jail in fear of snitching, Jukebox takes her out. I don't understand what you're saying. Hold on, let me read that again. Kanan will forgive Rock. Got it. But if she sets up Marvin in jail, but if she takes out Marvin, then Jukebox takes her out. Okay, I got you. Okay, I can agree with Kevin. Kevin said Courtney Kemp, but the writing on Raising Kanan is way better. All right, most of y'all are saying Courtney Kemp. And again, like I said, I would give, if I had to give a nod, it would be to Courtney Kemp because she started it. Like, it started with her. So I got it. I mean, you know. But I definitely think Sasha Penn definitely did his big one. Okay. I think then Flossie invited Marvin to come to a bat mitzvah, and he was like, you know, I'm down to learn, you know, like I'm open to faith. I'm open to learning about different faiths. I wonder if this scene made me feel like, are we going to see a religious awakening in Marvin, which makes him step away from the life? I mean, too late for him to have consequences because he's created way too many enemies. But I wonder, the way we've seen Marvin keep going back to the pastor, the way we've seen Marvin now being open to Judaism and learning and going to the synagogue with Flossie, I wonder if we're going to see a religious awakening in Marvin. And again, I have to say, throughout this series, Marvin has always been looking for a reason to have faith. If we go back to the anger management, I think he got so deep into the anger management and he was so successful, I say, with the anger management is because he was looking for something to hold on to, in my opinion. D. Travis said, if Marvin steps away religiously, that will be good to see on screen. I think so too. And again, that might save his life. I mean, he's still going to jail, right? I mean, I think he is. But that may save his life. So it'll be interesting to see if we see a spiritual pivot from Marvin. Because I feel like we've been kind of working our way up to that. Okay. It would be interesting if Snaps and Pops set up DEFCON in prison because DEFCON was doing side deals, especially with Rock. This is why Pop dislikes Rock. I think the religious scene is gearing up his full redeeming why Marvin will end up in prison versus that. See, me and Kevin don't always agree, but I feel like when it comes to Raising Kanan, we usually be on the same page. So yeah. We know DEFCON is dead, Christopher. DEFCON was dead before the show started. We see Tony Danza meeting up with Breeze, and at this point, now you just desperate. You are just desperate because you went to Kanan, now you're going to Breeze, and I feel like you want everybody else to do your dirty work because at the end of the day, you know you're wrong. You know that going after Rock is about ego and not about business. And so you trying to get everybody else to do your dirty work. And Breeze says the same thing that really Pino said was, she's not interfering with my business, so why do I care? Like, I know who Rock is. I know, but we're making business. Why are you so concerned? We're making business. I mean, we're making money. We're doing business. Why are you so concerned? So, I don't know. We see Kanan with what's her name? Jerika, whatever. The child. The escort. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Kevin said we generally agree. Thank you, boo. She won't take any more money from Kanan because she said that for her it's not just a trick anymore. Which in Kanan, listen, I'm gonna be honest. Kanan should have ran. He should have ran. He should have ran. He should have ran. Because basically she's letting you know that she catching feelings and that she likes you. I also feel like everything she told Kanan on purpose. I don't think she's stupid. I think she absolutely knows that Kanan used that information she gave him the first time to set up what happened to her coworker. And I think that's why she gave Kanan what was being said on the inside. Because like she said, Kanan, I know you into some shit. Like, I knew that from day one. I think she's trying to position herself to be Kanan's woman because I think she realizes that there's a way more benefit to her being his woman than her out here on these streets. And I'm starting to sort of second guess. If the first time was an accident. But I definitely don't feel like this time was an accident. I think everything she told Kanan, I think she told Kanan for a purpose. I think she had a reason to tell Kanan everything she told him so that I really do. The first time might have been, oops, I said too much. But then she saw what ended up happening. Because the only way, somebody had to have enough information to know where to pick old girl up, know what the system was, and set that judge up. Like, I really feel like she knows that Kanan had something to do with it. And I think that was her way of maybe testing to see how it was going to go. But Kanan, I don't know, player. You getting yourself in on something that I don't think you realize. I think you in control and you not. I don't think you in control of this situation. I'm just telling you what I think. I don't think you in control. On another note, just saw something good. I just saw it too, Kevin. Somebody just sent it to me. Literally, like when I picked up my phone just now, I saw. We're gonna talk about it. Congratulations to Beyond the Gates. We're gonna talk about it though. Lauren, I think it is. I absolutely believe that that's Kanan's baby mama. That's absolutely who that is. I think we talked about that. Anybody disagree with me on that? Or anybody agree or disagree that this is Sean's mother? Because again, remember when Kanan took out Sean, he said, I don't even know if he mine or not. I'm just saying. Marvin and Jukebox meet up with the cop to give him his money. It was real slick how Marvin put the money in the donut box, blah, 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 blah. Here is where y'all lost me. Y'all lost me with this whole dirty cop storyline a while ago, if I'm being honest. Here's where y'all really lost me on this dirty cop storyline. Marvin did exactly what I told y'all Marvin was going to do. Marvin told Jukebox to figure it out, right? But when he realized that Jukebox didn't figure it out fast enough, he got involved to avoid anything happening to Jukebox, but to also control the situation and see what was really going on with this cop, right? This is stupid. This is stupid. Because you mean to tell me you went through all of this, Jukebox, because you want to know what happened to Famous? This is why you set up a relationship with a cop paying him all of this bribe money because you want to know what happened to Famous? I'm sorry, this is stupid. And y'all feel free in the chat to tell me whether y'all disagree or whatever. This is stupid to me. Because number one, what that says to me is you don't believe that Rock had anything to do with this. Which tells me, going back to the same thing with Kanan, why the fuck y'all still mad at her? Jukebox, you got an attitude with Rock. Why are you mad with Rock? Why in the hell are you mad with her? If you don't even believe that she had something to do with Famous. So you went through all of this for him. What? This is stupid to me. And then when the guy basically gave you enough information for you to basically to confirm what you already pretty much knew, which was Rock didn't have nothing to do with this. It was somebody else that took out Famous. The other part of this is Famous's music had made a whole lot of enemies. Famous was addicted to drugs. Like, there could have been any number of people that did this to Famous. And I'm not saying that makes it okay. I get it that was their friend and all of that. But why are we really still trying to figure this out? I just felt like the first question she asked this man was about who killed Famous. First of all, if they fucking knew who killed Famous, don't you think that they would be in jail? And then she was like, well, some cops did it and they dirty. And he was like, do you know how many police officers are on the New York City Police Department? Like, he's supposed to know these dudes. He's supposed to know their criminal record. He's supposed to know whether they on the take or not. He doesn't, like, this was so stupid to me. It was just dumb, y'all. And again, I'm just trying to figure out to what end. To what end do we even care at this point? Y'all had convinced yourselves that Rock had something to do with it. Now that y'all are realizing, oh shoot, maybe Rock really don't have nothing to do with it. You could either be like Kanan and still be mad and don't give a fuck, or you can decide, you know what, I done fucked up my relationship with my aunt and she didn't even do nothing. Like, go have a conversation with Rock, apologize, clear the air, whatever. But you didn't need to go through all of this to do it. So now you done put yourself in a position where now you in the game. You done win it. You done got in bed with a cop. You done brought your father into it, who we know Marvin don't want to have nothing to do with no cops. And for what? To find out what happened to Famous 4 seasons ago? It's just... Right. It could have been anybody that took Famous out. Anyway, I didn't like it. I don't like this whole storyline. I feel like y'all I think their biggest problem as writers is for them to figure out how to get Jukebox from A to Z. They know who we as the audience, who we met on Power. We know the character of Jukebox that we met on Power. And I think they started Jukebox off too nice to begin with. And now I think they're trying to create the road that takes us as viewers to a point where we accept the person we met on Power. Y'all see what I'm saying? You started her too high up here, and now that the series is almost over, and I know we have Origins, because Jukebox should be on Origins. If not a full-time character, we should at least keep up with her to a certain extent on Origins. But you started her so high up here. Yeah, y'all had her boosting and all of that, but her boosting clothes doesn't make her the ruthless person we ran into. Like, you know, the person willing to kidnap a kid and do all the things that we knew she was doing. I think the writers had I think they started off, they put her too high. And we had met I mean, they made her with a quirky personality. She wasn't the nicest person in the world. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think it took them too long to develop the criminal side of Jukebox, the real ruthless criminal side of Jukebox. They should have been had Jukebox in the game. They should have been had her working. Like, I don't know. I mean, they gave us little stuff like her first unaliving, and they gave us little bits and pieces here and there, but I don't know. I think that's part of the problem is that just anyway. Kanan is the one that told Ronnie that famous song. Right, especially not Garcia. You said if Stefano gets eliminated, Rock can use her get out of jail free card. From who? From Garcia? Garcia doesn't have a relationship with Rock. Jukebox could eliminate Amber to make Jukebox. Wait a minute. Jukebox could eliminate Amber to make Jukebox feel dangerous towards Ghost and Tommy. What does DeMarcus? What does Amber have to do with Jukebox and Ghost and Tommy? I'm so confused. I think in Origins they're still going to do past and future scenes, so like flashbacks and stuff. I can see that because Origins is going to connect. Everything they do in Origins has to connect Raising Kanan to original power. Like that, it has to. It has to. All right. This next scene was a very, very, very good scene. When Rock goes back to Pino, and Pino says, "Listen, I talked to Stefano, you know, but at the end of the day, it's not going to stop him. Like I told him how I feel. I told him how he needs to move, but he ain't like it. I know he didn't like it, and I know he's going to take a swing. It ain't going to be today. It ain't going to be tomorrow, but I know it's coming. I'm going to be ready when it comes, but I need you to understand that ain't stopping him." Like basically he's letting Rock know, look, I did what you wanted me to do. I went to him. I told him you were under my protection, but I need you to understand he don't care. Like, that's not going to stop him because whatever he got on you is deeper than this business, which we already talked about. Like with Stefano, it's become personal. So it's deeper than this business. I heard a rumor that Power Origins will start in the early 2000s. Yeah, it's going to start. I don't know the exact year, but yeah. We got to fast forward a couple of years because we have to get to the point where Breeze and Kanan are basically the dynamic duo running the show. And Ghost and Tommy come and work for him. So yeah, they're gonna, because right now, if Raising Kanan started in 1992, we should be, give or take, we should be 94, 95-ish. You know, we're in season 5. I know it's not year for year, tit for tat. I understand that. But we should have fast forwarded about 3 or 4 years. So we should be in 94, 90. I mean, by the time this series ends, we should be in 95, 96-ish. Because all this shit didn't happen in no 1 year. And then they're going to fast forward a couple of years. So yeah, I could see that. I could see them fast forward in about 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years. I could see that. Okay, so, but Pino also let Rock know. So Pino was letting Rock know, number one, that's not going to stop him from coming for you. I did what I could do, but now, not only is it not going to stop him from coming for you, but he's probably going to come for me too. He was like, but I'm not mad about that because that's how the game goes. Like, that's how the game works. So he's coming for me, and that's cool. But I need you to understand he's still coming for you too. The other thing was, and what's this deal with your son? What's the deal with your son? And Rock was like, look, at the end of the day, that's my son. Like, yeah, he bad. He a badass kid, but he's still my son. Like, you know, and he said, listen, she said, what you trying to tell me? You want me to take my son out? I'm not taking my son out. He said, oh, no. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Trevor. I got to go back. You're right. I skipped all of that. Hold on. I got to skip all of that. I skipped all that. Hold on. Let me go back because I skipped over all of that. Which was a big part of the story. Lord, I skipped over a big thing. Thank you, boo. Thank you so much. Actually, last season, Jukebox said she always was salty to Rock. But she wasn't, though. Like, she can say what she wants to say, but we saw in these first 3 seasons, Rock was her saving grace. Like, Rock was her, no. She loved Rock, and her and Rock had a real close relationship. No, I'm not rewriting history. But I hear what you're saying. Hold on. Let me put this up on the scene. Let me put this up on the screen so I remember to go back. Let me finish this thought, and I'm gonna go back to this. So he's also trying to tell Rock, you need to get your son in check. And Rock was like, you trying to tell me I need to take out my son? I'm not taking out my son. He's like, no, But you need to punish him. You need to put him in check. You need to remind him who the mama. You need to remind him who the mama is. And Rock, I'm gonna be honest, you should have done this a long time ago. You should have put Kanan in timeout a long time ago. Whooped his ass a long time ago. She was envious that Rock always used her. Envious? I don't think envious is the word you're looking for, baby. It's ironic that Rock listened to Pino. Yes and no. I think it's ironic that she listened to Pino, but I also think that coming from somebody outside, no, well, yeah, I'm gonna say that. Yeah, it was ironic that she did listen to somebody. So let's go back to this snaps and pop situation because I totally skipped over this, and thank you for reminding me. So when Breeze and Kanan were talking, Kanan asking the question, how did your moms hook up with DEF CON? Lets us know that Kanan does not necessarily believe this story. He going along with it because why not? Because for him to let on that he don't believe it, he would have to say too much that he can't say. So at the end of the day, Breeze says, well, Snaps is my mom's brother. And that's the connection. So that's how he's my uncle. And I forgot what he said about Snaps. I mean, what he said about Pop. But he was like, well, you know, Rock took out DEF CON, right? And Kanan was like, well, that's what I heard something about that on the streets. And he was like, yeah, he took her out. And that's why, basically that's why I don't nobody really want to fuck with her. So they explain the connection. They explain why, Snaps and Pop allegedly don't like Rock because allegedly they think Rock took out DEF CON. And that's where Breeze is coming from. Now, here's what I don't understand. I don't know this story. I don't know if this is coming from Breeze or if this is coming from Snaps and Pop. I don't know how much of this Breeze is a part of. Like he knows it's a lie and he's in on it, or if that's the story he was told his whole life. Because here's what there's no part of me that believes that DEF CON is Breeze's father. No part of me. I know it's a manipulation tactic. I just ain't figured out who's doing the manipulating. I haven't figured out if Snaps and Pop are the ones doing the manipulating and controlling the board. They controlling the whole board. Or if Breeze is in on it and they're using it as a story to control Kanan. That's the part I haven't figured out. Now, I absolutely don't believe that Breeze is working up to justifying taking Rock out. That's what I believe. I believe that Snaps and Pop What I do believe is that Snaps and Pop started this story. I don't think Breeze made it up. I just don't know how much of it Breeze is a part of. Breeze's mama, I told y'all last week, I think that Pop is really Breeze's mom. That's who I believe it is. I believe Snap is really Breeze's mom, and this is a story that they've told. Now, DEFCON said in this episode that he don't really know that dude, but then last week he was like he got a chance to meet him, whatever. So I don't know. He probably met DEFCON, but he didn't have no relationship with DEFCON, and there's a whole lot of kids out here that believe that somebody their mama that ain't their mama. I mean, if somebody tell you a story, that's the only story you have to go by. And it's just giving me it's giving me Monet and, Power Book 2 with, her son. She's saying that was her nephew. Come to find out it was really her son. That's what I believe. That's my opinion. I honestly believe that I don't believe that DEFCON is either one of their daddies. Because we know that Rock was his beard. She got pregnant. She needed cover. He needed cover. It was a mutually exclusive relationship. It was mutually, it was a mutually advantageous relationship. So I don't believe that Breeze all of a sudden. I don't believe that DEFCON was having sex with women and then 2 years later needed a beard. Like, I just don't believe that. So I don't believe that's the father. I don't. I don't believe he either one of their daddy. But we know he ain't Kanan's daddy. Kanan should tell Breeze he visited their Uncle Vernon. Why would he do that? Right now, one thing about Kanan was, let's say this. Kanan was street dumb. But remember, Kanan, let's go back to the first episode. They wanted to put Kanan in a special school. Remember? They wanted to put Kanan was a straight A student. They wanted to put Kanan in like this, this honors school. They wanted to transfer him into. Kanan's not book dumb. Kanan is street dumb. He's not book dumb. And I don't think Kanan is so caught up in being a part of this situation with Breeze and Snaps and Pop. I don't think he's stupid enough. I think he understands to keep something tucked away. I think he absolutely is smart enough to be like, I need to keep something in the chamber. That's my opinion. Yeah, mutually beneficial relationship. So then we see Flossie meeting up with Stefano, and what we find out is that Flossie's father was in the business. Flossie's father knew Stefano, and there was a relationship there. There was an affinity there. Flossie's father was very much in the life. We don't know to what extent, but very much a part of the life. But that she went to the best schools, and she, her father groomed her to not be in the business. Kind of going back to what we said about Marvin and Jukebox. Didn't want her in the business, so she married a doctor and did all of the proper things that she was taught to do as a kid. Yeah. Kanan should have got some church discipline. Jukebox got ooh. But Flossie let it be very clear. She said, "Listen, I need you to understand something, Stefano. I love you, and I got that respect for you because of your relationship with my dad. But please don't mistake this smile for no weakness. You don't get to tell me who to do business with. You don't get to control how I run my business. At the end of the day, I'm in Manhattan doing what I do, and I will work with whoever the fuck I want to work with. And if it's Rock, it's gonna be Rock." And by the end of this episode, Stefano looked like a little kid throwing a tantrum. Like, I really was waiting for him to start jumping up and down and throwing his books on the floor. Like, you really sound like a bitch right now. For the last 3 episodes, all we've heard is Stefano complaining about Rock. Sir, you I just feel like you had bigger fish to fry. You had a whole organization coming after you, and I understand you eliminated the head of that organization, but don't nobody want no revenge for what you did. Ain't nobody looking for you no more. Like, his whole organization just crumbled. Ain't the mom, the wife ain't looking for you. Like, ain't nobody coming for you. You don't have other things to be worried about other than what Rock is doing? She's not even in your territory anymore, sir. And she even came to you and offered the truce. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You really sounding like a bitch now. Like Stefano, I don't know what it is about Rock that, I mean, other than her being a woman and being a black woman. You need to really go somewhere and sit down. Just go sit down somewhere. Now, I believe there were a lot of I believe there was a lot of foreshadowing in this episode that connects us to where we're going, because we know we only have a few episodes left before we get to the end of the series. But this scene right here is probably the most iconic scene that we have seen as far as foreshadowing, taking us into really taking us back to Power. We literally see Breeze sitting in the apartment that we know was his apartment. We literally see him sitting in the apartment watching Jeopardy. And if you go back to the original Power, that is what Kanan said about Breeze when he was talking about, what Ghost and him said about Breeze, about how easy it was to take Breeze out, because he was a man of a habit. He sat on the couch facing with his back to the window every night at 7 o'clock to watch Jeopardy. So we literally see him sitting on the couch with his back to the window watching Jeopardy. That has probably got to be the most iconic. I love this scene just for the nostalgia of us seeing what we were always told. You know what I mean? For us seeing what we were always told, like, this is it. This is how they were able to take Breeze out. And we saw it in real time, right? Child, we see Jarita basically blow off another customer, and Flossie telling her, girl, get your shit together or you're going to have to find another job. You know, again, I told y'all, in her mind, she got Kanan on the leash and she don't feel like she need this job anymore. But moving right along. We see Rock telling, no, actually, Breeze, I'm sorry, when Kanan came into the apartment, Breeze, he was like, what you want? Breeze was like, we gotta go do some work. So we see Joaquin at the boxing match. We see him get up and go to the bathroom, and basically we see Breeze taking Joaquin out. Again, like I told y'all at the beginning of this review, I feel like the only reason why we saw this scene, we saw that first scene, was to set up this scene. So in my mind, that was Breeze's get back to Rock, because like he said, I'm gonna get Rock back, but when I get her back, I'm gonna hit her where it hurts. Taking out her connect, even though we know that she's not directly getting her drugs through Joaquin at this point, but taking out somebody that she gets her work from is a message, and it's a message that's going to hurt Rock in his mind. I think this scene also was to show us how fucking crazy Breeze is, because literally we see Breeze take out Joaquin, and then him having to run out, and you know, Kanan is the lookout. But did y'all hear him yell Kanan's name? Now, I don't know if that was just something that the writers threw in there, or if it's going to mean something. But literally, you're running out of there. You jump into Kanan's car, his real car, like the car that he drives every day, not no decoy car. The car that he drives every day, yelling his name. And I was like, that was stupid. Because the dudes were chasing him out, and they shot up Kanan's car. And Kanan is really sitting there like, yo, this dude is crazy. And it's really making me question how they were able to work together for so many years. Like, but we do know, you know, we'll get to that. So we see Garcia poking around, because why Garcia feels like he needs to do what Jukebox asked him to do, I guess. So we see him poking around trying to figure out shit, I can't get it out. But anyway, trying to figure out Child, my brain, y'all know brain fog. It literally just left my head. Hold on. My thought just ran out my brain. Oh, trying to figure out the connection with the dirty cops and what happened to Famous. And the guy lets him know, well, nobody really cared anything about this case until they connected it to Howard. Now, remember, this whole thing started because Garcia was supposed to be trying to figure out what happened to Howard. So now I guess Garcia cares again because now Howard's name has come up. Child, I don't care no more about this. I don't care. Rock and Marvin are arguing because Rock is telling Marvin that they need to, they need to go take care. They need some get back on Kanan because Kanan hit them and they got to hit Kanan back. And Rock is letting Marvin know, look, I know my brother. I mean, I know my son. I know how he think, and we need to, we need to handle this. And Marvin is like, Rock, I don't understand. Kind of like what Breeze was saying. We're making money. We're in Manhattan. Who gives a fuck what's going on with Kanan? Like, who cares? Kanan is over there doing Kanan. We over here doing what we doing. I don't understand why this matters. Now, we know that the reason why Rock is feeling so inspired to come at Kanan is because of what Pino told her. Because I feel like it wasn't a suggestion, right? I feel like the Pino situation was not a suggestion. But we know that that's why she's so inspired. Of course, Marvin doesn't know. So Marvin and his crew go pick up one of Kanan's bike boys, which is absolutely hilarious because they hit the boy while he riding his scooter. And Marvin was like, so we about to go shake up somebody he played Little League with? Like, really? Like, that's what we about to do? And she was like, we need, he hit us. We got to hit them back. We need the intel. So we see Jukebox go over to Kanan's house. And Jukebox is telling Kanan, hey, I found out that Rock didn't have anything to do with Famous's death. And Kanan tells you, I really don't care. And she was like, well, that's your best friend. You don't care anymore? No, I don't. I have moved on. I still hate my mama. It ain't nothing you can tell me to change that. And Famous is dead. So I don't know what you want me to do with this information. And again, I have to say, this is the best I could do with Jukebox. She's so obsessed with Famous's death. This is the best I could do with this. Because it's crazy to me. Rock and Marvin are questioning. This is when Kanan finds out that his boy done got picked up off the bike boy done got picked up. Rock is getting yayo from Jaquan. Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you. So Rock and Marvin got the stick-up kid, the bike boy, in the pool, and they working him up. And basically, Rock is like, what he say about me? What's he saying about me? And Marvin was like, we really doing this for you to find out what your son's saying about you? Like, why are we doing this? And you can tell that Marvin is just over it. He was like, look, the boy don't know nothing. I done beat his ass. He ain't telling us nothing. You asking him questions like, what he say about me? Like, who cares? Like, this is crazy. So Rock is trying to get Marvin motivated. And of course, Marvin at this point is over it, because he thinks it's stupid. Because in his mind, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. And we're making money. This is stupid. We're not going to get anything out of this. So Rock says we need to send a message. And she ends up shooting the dude, the bike boy. And she takes him out. And Marvin is like, what did you do that for? Like, what are we doing? This is stupid. And that's when Rock tells Marvin that Kanan is the one that took out Lou. Now listen. One thing that's been consistent with Rock is that whenever Rock needs to take a big swing, it's never her that does it. When she needed to take a big swing at Howard, she got her son to do it. When she needed to take out the boy in the first season, she got Lou to do it. She never takes the big swing. It's always somebody else. In this situation, she knew that Kanan had to go. She knew Kanan. This cat and mouse game between her and Kanan has got to end. But of course, she can't do it. She can't do it. But she knows Marvin is mad enough about what happened to Lou that maybe Marvin can do it. Now, Do I think that Rock thought Marvin would 100% take Kanan out? No. I think she thought that Marvin would do exactly what Marvin did, which was beat his ass, but couldn't really do it. And I think that's what she needed. She needed a message sent to Kanan, right? So of course Marvin goes over Kanan's apartment. Kanan and Juke are together. He goes over Kanan's apartment and he proceeds to whoop Kanan's ass. Juke is there trying to stop him. And when he ends up telling Juke what happened. And of course, the look on Juke's face is like, what the hell? And she's still trying to stop Marvin. But of course, she's like, I can't believe this. Now, the reality of the situation is we knew it was going to come out. Like, I didn't know how, the who, the what, the when, the where, or the how, but I knew it was going to come out. And I knew Marvin was going to do what Marvin just did. Like, I knew Marvin was going to beat Kanan's ass. We also obviously know that Marvin doesn't kill Kanan. Like, hello, we know that. So we knew that it wasn't going to go no further than this ass whooping. Now, Kanan says that basically he's going to get revenge. I don't mean no harm, Kanan, but you don't owe Marvin nothing in this scenario. You unalived his brother / your uncle. He whooped your ass and spared your life. In my mind, you supposed to just call this thing even. You don't owe him nothing. You don't owe him an ass whooping. You don't owe him a return visit. Baby, he did what he was supposed to do. So when you talk about something, you just you gonna get your revenge. Baby, ain't no revenge to get. I mean, I get it. He whooped your ass. You got a whole ego thing. But sir, you took out his brother / your uncle. It's no revenge here to get. He don't owe you nothing, bruh. There's no revenge here to get. You know what I'm saying? And that was pretty much the end of the episode, y'all. That was pretty much the end of the episode. Don't nobody ask me if I'm gonna review this fighting show that 50 Cent is producing. The answer is no. I don't ask me to do it. Now I'm full on. I'm full on in the Power universe because I've been in the Power universe from the beginning. So it would be hard for me to let go of the Power universe because I've been there from the beginning. But I have no interest in taking on a new 50 Cent project. I'm just telling y'all now. So don't ask me. The answer is no. I'm not reviewing it. I ain't talking about it. I ain't watching it. Rock knew exactly what she was doing. She absolutely knew what she was doing. And it was done on purpose. It was absolutely one thing about Rock. Rock is always done. Like she manipulates. She's always manipulated her brothers. The one thing I can respect out of Kanan, even though, when I say respect Kanan, that's a strong thing. But the one thing I'll say is Kanan never allowed his mother to manipulate him to the extent that Marvin and Lou were manipulated. After she asked him to take out his father, I think that was where, So I think Kanan manipulated Ghost to get rid of Breeze. I think so too. And I think we're going to see that in Origins that Kanan is his mother. Kanan is his mother. Because remember, we saw Kanan do it with Tariq. So I absolutely believe that that's who Kanan is. But we see where he gets it from. He got it honest. He got it from his damn mama. He got it from his mama. So I agree with you 100%. If he tries to do something to Marvin, Juke is going to finish Kanan. She loves her dad despite their complex relationship. I think once Marvin told her why he was beating Kanan's ass, she still didn't want him to unalive Marvin, to unalive Kanan, but you saw who she left with. She left with her daddy. So I agree. All right, y'all, we about to get out of here. We about to hop over to Heart and Hustle Houston. We are literally going to go right into Heart and Hustle Houston. And then I have a video to do after that, a cruise update. I've got some information on the cruise. So we're going to go into Heart and Hustle Houston, and then I have a cruise update. All right, I'll see y'all in a minute. Peace.